Hi everybody, I'm Perry Jones Grossman along with my bestie and partner in crime, Diane Chandler, and we welcome you to Own Your Throne podcast. Now today we have a very special guest. She is an amazing mom extraordinaire of 3 beautiful girls. She's also married to a movie star. I'm going to let you guess who that is. And she has run an amazing business. It's a skincare business called Serious Skincare. So we welcome Jennifer Flavin. I'm so happy to have you.
Hi, guys. I am so
happy.
excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my gosh. And I have to tell them this though, because this was something that I was telling Diane not too long ago. I bet it was like 25 years. I was watching you on HSN.
Yeah.
Selling the Serious Skincare.
Yep. Yeah.
And
Yep.
I was, I don't know, 40 something. and so the wrinkles were starting to come in, and your product, the Instatox,
The instant wrinkle eraser.
Yes, you started the first anti-aging beauty products.
We did instant anti-aging, where it just erased lines, wrinkles, enlarged pores, puffiness, gave a lift. An instant product, so when you washed your face, it all went away. But hey, I say my makeup is temporary, so is, if I want to temporarily erase lines and wrinkles, I can.
Well, let me tell you, I put it on other body parts too that needed some lifting. I was like, cheeks in the cheeks.
I know, right? Right? We find a lot. People are putting on their knuckles, so there's a lot of great places to put the Instatox on.
Well, we're so excited you're here because you really are a true Renaissance woman.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I just, want to start off with, you are a successful entrepreneur. You are married to Sylvester Stallone.
Yes.
And he's had his own, fabulous career, but you've started your own for many, many years, and a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, I started, actually, I met Sly when I was 19, almost 20, and we were together, and I was working as a model, and then I started the company when we split up. For about a year, I was thinking about getting out of the modeling business, and I thought, I have really bad acne. Someone gave me some products to try, and I had been to dermatologists. I had been on, topical medication, oral medication. Nothing seemed to work. And she said, you need to use a system like cleansing, treating, healing your skin. And this works. It works for my clients. And she had this little tiny skincare clinic up in Santa Cruz, California. And I said, well, let me try it. I've tried everything else. Yeah. And my skin started to clear. But it was like a 24/7. You have to do it, like cleanse your skin, take care of your skin in the morning and the evening. And once I did that, I said, well, we have to share this with the rest of the world. So we brought it to HSN, and they loved it. They've never seen anything like it before. So they brought 5,000 units of it. So we made it, we shipped it to them, we sold it on air, and we sold out in the first few shows. So that's what started the company over 26 years ago. Wow. So we've done about...
and you only look like you're 20.
No, thank you. It's working. No, thank you. I think
gorgeous.
It's a little makeup and a little
gorgeous
smoke and mirrors.
Yes. I love that. So cute.
Yeah. So that's where it started, and so it just took off, and then about a little over a year later, Sly and I got back together, and then we had Sophia, then we got married. We kind of did it not the conventional way. Most people get married first and then have kids. We had kids and then got married.
Details.
She was at the wedding. It was great.
Right. Perfect.
She's in all the wedding photos.
That's so cute.
Yeah, it's really good. And then we had Sistine, and then we had Scarlett, and we're still trucking along. It's amazing.
How long have you guys been married now?
Let's see. So Sophia's 23. We've been married 22 years. That's how I keep track.
Okay.
That's incredible.
Yeah, 22 years. I've known him for over 30. So.
What's your secret?
I would say patience and just not making a big deal out of everything. Just slowing our roll down. So, not getting heated at small things, only really getting upset when they really matter.
Like picking your battles.
Picking your battles is really important in a relationship. And I say that to my daughters as well all the time, even in young relationships. Just kind of not get so emotional over like spilled milk. Don't care. Like it's okay. That's fine. That's not going to change. Just really, because then when you have something to talk about, they're real issues instead of just like fighting over like you left the refrigerator door open or you didn't do this. You're not that. Like don't pick on people. And I think that really has helped balance the relationship instead of always judging and picking. And so,
Nagging into-
Right.
yeah, like just kind of like, and you know, and I try to teach him that too. So
Yes.
I love that.
I love that. You know, you're such a beautiful example of,
Thank
you know, of course, you're physically stunning, and you're 52?
51, gonna be 52 this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
What really comes across to me is your youthful spirit. I think that's what makes you look so young.
Vivacious.
And vivacious, and you have this sparkle about you. And where does that come from?
I think, you know, I really take a hard look at my life. I mean, it was never all sparkly and pretty, and it's not always, trust me. I grew up, I'm one of 7 kids. My father died at 11, and my mom sort of took off and left, and she wasn't around a lot. So, and she drank a lot, so she wasn't home. So I was sort of on my own, even though I had brothers and sisters around. We kind of raised each other, but not really. We kind of raised ourselves. So I've been on my own since I was 11. And so it was pretty tough growing up, you know, with no money and having to work really hard. And, you know, I opened a bank account up by myself at like 13 years old. I started driving a car at 14 and a half, getting a job at a dry cleaners when I was 15. So my life has always been not so easy and not so like perfect. Mom and dad at home, you know, taking you to school, making sure you enroll in college. It wasn't like that for me. So I had a harder path in life. And
Where did you learn your values and your?
well, I think early on, because my parents were together growing up, and my mom's from North Dakota, my dad's from Minnesota, and my brothers were all born there. And then my parents moved to Los Angeles and had my sisters and I. I think just really them having basic values with us. I mean, we went to church on Sunday. We sat down to eat family dinners, but we were always made accountable. Like we always had to work hard, and my dad never allowed us just to go and, you know, mess up the house. Like we all had jobs of cleaning and cooking and making 7 lunches for the kids. Like all of us had like, okay, I do the sandwiches, someone else gets the
Factory
drinks.
line.
It was like a factory line.
Yeah.
And so we never got, you know, we never went out to a restaurant because it was too expensive with 7 kids. So like we just learned to be basic and enjoy things that aren't really expensive. Like we used to travel across country and buy camper and go to all the national monuments, like different national parks and everything. Things aren't that expensive, but you know, I got to see the country and, you know, live on part of my family's on a farm, so spent some time on farms and things that don't cost a lot of money. So when I started to make money on my own and enjoy things, it's a lot of fun. But then I realized that doesn't really make me happy either. So
Great life lessons. So
so I kind of sort of had to go back to what makes me happy. So it's not like the fame, it's not all the, you know, things that you get from being wealthy or being famous. It's really like the simple things. And I mean, I have a list of simple things I love doing.
Your joy, and that's where your joy comes from.
Yeah.
I can tell.
And a lot of gratitude. You
Yeah,
can
I'm
see
really,
it.
really blessed
Yes.
that I'm here and I'm alive and I'm healthy. So that really is.
What are some of the things that make you really joyful?
It's so embarrassing, and I probably should
No.
say. I like doing puzzles.
I
I'm a
love
big
that.
puzzle
Yes.
person. I always have a puzzle going somewhere
Yeah.
in the house, and it's a really great place for everyone kind of come around. Even though my daughters want to kill me, they're like, "Oh my God, Mom started another puzzle." I'm like, "Just come in." And so, like, literally, they will put a couple pieces in, but it's just kind of a way to us to not be on our phones and just kind of sit
Be
and
together.
That's such a great
just
idea.
like concentrate and just kind of be with each other and like put a piece in here and there. I don't know. It's just it's simple fun. Another thing I just did was I really loved roller skating when I was a kid. So I was like, girls, you know, there is something I can do better than you guys, which is roller skating. And they're like, no, you can't. I'm like, yes, I can. And so we went down to Venice and we bought roller skates there is a roller skate shop in Venice,
Oh my gosh.
California. So we went and bought some roller skates. So all of us own roller skates, and now we roller skate outside and inside,
fun.
outside, in the
Awesome.
kitchen, and so now.
Okay,
that's
can you
what-
just picture her and her beautiful girls
Yeah, exactly.
going down Venice Beach roller skating? I'm sure everybody just stopped and just went,
Not crashing the car.
No.
And this is a family outing.
Yes.
That's what I love.
So that's really like
That's so
it's really
sweet.
like
simple,
fun,
simple pleasures.
fun things
I
to
think
do.
that's why it's so beautiful to have you on our show, because you could think Jennifer Stallone, you know, what do we have in common with her? But the listener. But the truth is, it's like you really are so approachable, and I you know, and I mean this, I know you a little bit, and your sisters as well. You guys have these beautiful values, and so I love,
Kindness.
there's a
The
kindness, and I think that you have had struggle like a lot of other people, and yes, you live a very blessed life, but a very real life.
A really real life, because you know, honestly, you know, you see, and I was looking at pictures of me last night, and they weren't the most flattering. I'm like, oh my gosh, I should like put on some powder when I know there's like 50 photographers outside or something, you know.
Yes,
But when we go home, we're just like everybody else.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
eat dinner as a family at 5:30.
Yeah.
We, you know, my 2 little new puppies are pooping and peeing all over the house. It's like a disaster, and I'm sitting on the floor like getting upset that I'm cleaning up poop and pee 10 times a day. I mean, it's
normal.
It's
normal
normal
stuff.
life.
I
It's
mean, it's
normal
not
life.
like we go home and
Right.
everything's like ta-da, like everything's
Yeah.
perfect.
The music is playing.
No.
Cue the music.
Yes.
Well, how do you handle struggles? Like if you wake up, you have a challenging day. Do you ever have those kind of days? And then what is your like
one thing
practice
actually
or something?
Sly actually told me. He goes, because I'm like I sort of run the house. I run him, I run the kids, I run my business, I run everything. He's like, you really start the day. So if you come downstairs and you're in a bad mood and you set the house off in a bad mood, it's like the energy will permeate throughout the whole home. So if you don't just like sometimes you gotta fake it a little bit. So sometimes if I wake up in a bad mood, I know the kids are all going off to school and Sly's going off to work, whatever. I just kind of like make sure everyone's okay, and then I deal with the problem instead of just be like throwing
Dumping it
things
on,
and
dumping
being
it on
upset about
everybody.
people. So that's a good trick because you know you're allowed to deal with your emotions.
Sure.
But sometimes when everybody's so like starting the day off like in a good positive way, get everyone off positive, going to school, going to work, whatever they're doing, is really important to set the tone in the home and then deal with it. Like, okay, now I got to deal with this. And it's important not to cover up your own feelings, but
You deal with it later. There was a friend of mine that said, take responsibility for the energy you bring into the room.
right.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's like
so
it really does set that up. I have to read a quote that Sly said about you, and I love this. He said, I realize that women have a knack for making incredibly wise, smart decisions. With Jennifer, I've learned I can always leap without looking.
Oh,
That was like a
beautiful.
wow. I was thinking,
Yeah.
this is a man who cherishes and trusts his woman.
Yeah.
And the example that you're setting for your daughters and relationships, because, I mean, how beautiful is that?
It is.
It's a beautiful quote.
And it's great about life is like I didn't have a great like relationship really with my mom, even though I love her. It's just, I wish she didn't drink so much and didn't have all, and I wish she was in our lives more.
Right.
But I realized like I can change it and I can make it better.
Yes.
Like I am not going to do those things to my girls because I knew how hard it is to grow up without it. So I'm going to make sure like you can change it. And Sly had a hard time as well. So we're both trying. I mean, we're not perfect, and God knows we're like we try, and we're always like going zigging and zagging through life. And so I just feel like you kind of have to own your stuff. You can make changes. You don't have to do what your parents did. And you take the good things from them, what they gave you, and then I try to put that in my girls. Like, okay, this is what I did wrong, and this is what I think I would love to see you do better. But they're going to make mistakes and whatever.
Of course.
And they'll learn as well.
Right.
One of the big things that we, a core belief of mine is just that, we create a reality. We create what happens in our lives, and we can look at life through a filter of, I'm a victim, life is hard, look what happened to me.
It is, and it's hard, and it's really, really hard.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and listen, everyone gets up every day, and it's a struggle, and it's painful, and there's so many good things that are going on, but there's so many bad things,
Yeah.
and sometimes you can
It's
get
hard.
caught up
can.
in it, and you got to find a way to go, okay, it's really, really bad, but my feet are still on the ground.
Yeah. You go into gratefulness.
You have to. You have to. There's no. I mean, we can wallow, and I sometimes go, "Let me wallow."
Yeah, let me
I'm allowed.
It's my turn.
It's my turn.
Right?
And sometimes I tell my girls when I get like that, I'm like, "Remember, I'm just a girl. Remember, like I'm just a girl too. Just like I'm an old girl, but I'm still a girl."
Well, that will bring us to our next question. So, how do you how is the aging process for you? Because this show is really about, owning ourselves at every age. So how is the aging process going for you?
I think after 50, I felt a sense of relief. I felt like I'm okay. I'm okay to age. Like, I don't care. Even like your 20s and 30s, even your like 40s, you're like trying to
kind of keep it up.
And you're like always checking your hair.
Yes.
And now my daughter said it best to me. She goes,
true.
It doesn't matter. And I go, you're right.
You're right. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. And I'm actually having so much more fun because I'm not trying to be 20. I'm not trying to be 30 or 40.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm 50. Who cares?
You're authentically 50.
And if you don't like me because I'm 50, then I don't like you either. So like, perfect. We're a match made in heaven.
We're good. But I would think even as you were a model.
Yeah.
And you a lot of your career was
and that messes
about,
with you. Trust
and that
me.
mess, that's what I'm saying.
Oh my
and
God.
you're doing it so beautifully, right?
Yes.
So I think that is such. I love you say when I got 50, it was like. Basically, it's
can relax.
I'm good. I'm good.
I
made it. I'm fine.
I'm breathing.
I love that. There's a freedom in that. There's a freedom in that.
It is a freedom, and I noticed with my girlfriends, we like laugh more, and we're okay to be really silly now.
Yeah.
Where like when you're in the thick of it and you're trying to like work really hard, get your career going, raise your kids, take care of your home, your husband, you're doing like all these, you're wearing 1,000 different masks, and then you hit 50 and you're like, all right, I can exhale, and I can have some fun now, and I can be really silly again, and I can be, I can bring out that
playfulness.
Yeah.
Well, it's because it's self-acceptance, don't you think? I mean, we get to that point where we're like, you know what, I am who I am, and I'm always going to try to be better, but I am who I am, and I like myself, and once we like and love ourselves, then it's so easy to love and like other people.
One of my favorite things that Perry said to me once, we were talking about something, she goes, Diane, I am not up for vote. And I'm like, okay, queen.
But it's true.
But it's such a powerful comment, and I say it all the time.
It's so great because my husband is in the acting world and producing world, and it's funny because when I walk in a room, I don't care about any directors, producers. I'm like, I can't act, sing, or dance. So I don't want to be in any of your shows. So
exactly.
Like
and how do you, by the way, take out the trash.
That's so good, right? That's so funny. I don't sing, dance, or act.
Right? So I'm like, good. Like we can hang out because I'm not like looking for a job, and so it's really it's just such a relief in a way, just to feel. Okay, I can just be me. I don't have to put on a face. And I feel like I see it in young people, like they're trying to figure out who they are, and that's what we all did.
Yeah.
But they're trying so many different things and wearing so many different, clothes that they're trying to figure out who they are, what they look like, who they should be, who people think they are when you're young.
It always seems to me, though, with your personality, just meeting you today, that you've always had that belief in yourself and knowing who you were. I would never say, I don't think Jennifer knew who she was growing up. I think you did. Is that true?
I always knew I'm a hard worker and I'm really kind. Like I'm not a mean person. I don't walk in a room and I was bullied a lot. And I know everyone says that nowadays. Everyone's bullied, but I really was. I had to leave school. And back then to leave school is because you're being like beat up. So for me, it was like I just never ever wanted to treat people that way. And I really feel for people when they're in pain. I'm very and empathetic, and that's one thing that Sly and I made sure we taught the girls, because I go, okay, they definitely didn't grow up like you or I. Like we were both like broke and had nothing. And good news, bad news for you girls. Okay, you have a beautiful home and two parents that love you. Bad news is that you're not going to have the struggles that we did, because that gives you character too.
Yeah, it does.
And and sometimes, we understand how when you have to get a job, you take baby steps to work. Like you just don't start up here. You start at the bottom.
Right.
And sometimes it's hard to teach kids that grow up in the world that they're growing up in, that you can't start at the top. You still have to start at the bottom. That's the way you're going to learn. And so those lessons
so there's no sense of entitlement.
There's no sense, and
yeah.
that's one thing we always wanted to teach them, is like about being empathetic and compassionate, and that is the first thing I teach them. I mean, throughout their whole lives, and they are. I mean, I've never had touch wood. I've never had a problem with them, and they're really nice kids. Like they're really good young women. Yeah.
I think that's so lovely. I have a question about the beauty business, because it seems like you've probably heard a lot from women in the products that you've sold.
Yeah.
What do you think it is that women are feeling so less than with their looks and you know, trying to figure out who they are? What have you heard and had to deal with some of the customers that you sold to?
I think a lot of women just feel defeated, and like they feel like aging is such a, you know, like there's no hope left, or they just feel like, oh my God, I'm not worthy. I don't have a lot of worth anymore because I'm not young. And I'm like, no, this is when all the greatness begins. You have so much more than just the outside. You have so much more on the inside to give. And don't worry about lines and wrinkles. Those were earned, and we're lucky to have them. And, you know, listen, I don't care what people do. If people want to do filler, do filler. If you want to get, you know, Botox, get Botox. I am not judging any woman, because that's your own path.
That's right.
And I hate when other people judge other
I'm
people.
with you.
We
on
had that conversation.
We had that conversation
Constantly.
It doesn't matter.
I go, like, live and let live. Like, don't worry. If that's not your thing, God bless you. Go on your way. That's perfect. But if it is your thing, that's
don't
your
judge
thing.
other women for doing it.
Don't shame and don't look. And
Yeah.
I think that's just mean.
Right.
You don't know. You've never walked in someone else's shoes. You don't know what
That's
they
right.
feel.
And there's there's bullying with that too. It's interesting because we'll have conversations with some of our girlfriends, and they'll say, you know, I'll say, you know, gosh, she's really pretty. Oh well, she's had a lot of work done. She's had like, well, so what?
What? And
Who
that takes work
cares?
too.
And by the way, I am too. So it's like, you know,
I
but
think
it's
a lot of it is, I really, we were saying, you know, I think part of owning your throne, owning your life is owning your choices.
Owning your choices. And
Right.
then listen, and they can be really bad. I
But
mean,
we're tough on ourselves.
I think
we can be really tough on
I
ourselves.
think I'm still tough, and my daughters go, it was because you were a model, and you kind of have to always. And I go, you know what? That's true. A lot of it was that business really. And when young girls say it doesn't affect them that are models now, I'm like, it's hard to believe that too.
Yeah.
For me,
a
it
lot
is.
of your value came, you know, a lot of the attention or your worth or your value, came from your beauty.
Your size and everything. And remember, I'm in the generation before all the like fancy airbrushing and filters. Like you had to look good, or they had to hand paint every photograph. So it wasn't so easy with a computer to erase everything in 30 seconds.
Right.
So you had to show up looking your body perfect, your teeth, your hair, your skin, your everything had to be like spot on. They couldn't just erase everything immediately.
Yeah.
So even with my girl, it's hard to reprogram. And it's funny because my daughter tried modeling for a year, and she even said, she goes, it still lives with me a little bit, Mom. It's still really hard.
And with social media now with our girls, it's a totally different thing
you have to be
than
like
when
this
we were.
thin, and you have to be, and I can't, I was like, oh, I hear you, honey. It is. It's
They say most people, for every, I think it's, you could hear 9 positive comments and you'll hear 1 negative. And the negative one is what's going to stick in your,
The loudest.
the loudest.
But I think that goes away a little bit more as you get older, because you go, I don't care anymore.
You're right.
Like literally, I used to like read that one comment. I go, why? What's wrong with them? I used to literally. Now I look at it like they must be really unhappy to judge me when they don't even know me. Like, I mean, I always think, oh my gosh, they must be sitting at home being really sad. I feel bad for them. Like now I look at it differently now, being an older person. But now my girls look at it like, can you believe they said that? And I'm like, yeah, I can believe it. But
what a great example you're showing them too.
Yeah,
You know, where they don't take it seriously and they see you being able to go, you know, it's just they're having a bad day.
Right.
I said that to Saba the other day. She was talking about some girls are being mean to her, and she brought this, you know, topic up, and I said, honey, I said, you know what, they're just not feeling so good about themselves.
Yeah.
So why do they have to be so mean to me if they don't feel so good? Why don't they be mean to themselves?
Right,
You know?
right. I know.
But
It's
hard.
It's crazy. I mean, even other mothers, when my kids were in like in lower school, not only were their children bullies, but the parents were bullies. I was just like, I was getting bullied, and I couldn't. These were very important families at the school, and I go, they're bullying me on top of it, like whispering and laughing and pointing out. I go, and I finally approached them like, did I do something? Do we have a problem? And they're like, oh, we can't talk about it now. I'm like, well, at least let me know, like, what's and they never could. And eventually, like 5 years later, they apologized. They were going through a problem, whatever. But I just couldn't believe, like, I look at the kids, and it really, sometimes it stems from the parents.
They do what we do, not what we say. I truly believe they don't miss a thing. thing.
I know.
They don't
I
miss
know.
a thing.
Kids
I
really
know. It's what we
Kindness
it's what
is
we teach
definitely
We
them.
really
what
have to,
teach us.
we have to be really present
Yeah.
in their lives.
And I think women too, we've talked about girl tribe, but now Di and I have changed, we made it the queendom.
And the
Right?
queendom.
I love it.
So we're-
I want to be
Queen-
part of your
You're in
Yes,
it.
queendom.
You're in it.
Yes, you're part of the
Please, let me be
queendom.
part
You
of
know?
your queendom because I
Yes.
love women.
Yes.
And I have so much fun with women
I
and
love
girls.
I
And
know.
so cute.
Well, and we
She's
can
so
honor each other, and it's like we were saying, you know,
Yeah.
we as women, we want queens. We're queens of our own lives. It's not
Yeah.
like it's the bottom up. It's you know,
Yeah.
it's all of us learning each other, fixing each other's crowns.
We're always like
right,
taking
and
care.
we're going. We want you to be your best and feel the best.
When we
and if
had that-
someone hurts my friends, it's like you're hurting me.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like don't do that.
Yeah.
When we were
know?
taking a picture for our show, we were looking
Yeah.
and we found these huge crowns. Not crowns,
Chair
thrones.
thrones.
And there was a double throne. I'm like, perfect! I got a double throne. We're
She
sitting
found
on
a
it.
double throw for pictures
It was
of.
so
Oh
cute.
my God,
Like
that
everybody
is-
gets to be on it. So now that you're in this part and chapter of your life, like what are you excited about creating? Because we were upstairs and you were just talking
Yeah.
about all the ideas. You're
Oh
an
my
ideas
God.
person.
So
And
I just love keep creating. That's just I'm always dreaming of new ideas, and I don't know. I'm trying to start like a family business, so it's like for everyone. I was
love that.
So I was thinking about doing something like that.
what was
and
the thought behind that? Tell us about the family business. That's cute.
I was thinking about doing something. I don't even want to talk about what we're doing
Yeah,
yet.
you don't have to tell
But
us.
tell the secret.
But I want to talk about I love being around my girls. So I was thinking, how can I still keep them around?
That's we as moms.
Oh my
that's
God,
what
I
we're
do
always
the same
and
thing.
do something that we all love doing,
Yes.
and then like just keep the whole family. And they're gonna still do. They all have their dreams and what they want to do. But I thought it's
Yeah.
something that we could all do together that would always keep us together, to keep us working
Yeah.
together
Yeah.
in something.
Yeah.
So creating a little family business that we all love.
That's great.
And also now that they're almost all two or one's already graduated from college, one's in and out of college, and one's in almost she's in 11th grade, and she drives. So I'm not driving anymore. I'm not taking them to sports practices. I'm not
I
doing
know.
like my whole world changed. That was really very hard the first
Yeah, how
year,
did
not
you
like
know?
actually
Yeah.
getting up and driving 2 to 3 hours a
Talk
day.
about that, because there's a lot of women right now that
Holy
they feel like
cow.
their lives are over when their kids leave the nest.
It was hard. I'll say you. I was like really sad. Like what do I do? And I was still working, but I was like there was the hours out of the day where I'm going bouncing off the walls, going,
Yeah.
what do I do with myself? Like
Yes.
You've been such a hands-on
I've been
mom.
so hands-on.
Yeah.
I never missed picking them up or driving them to school or taking them to practice or being the room mom for their class. Like I did it all with them.
Yeah.
So now when it totally comes to total dead end,
Yeah,
stopped.
stop.
I started really looking at my life and saying, what do I like doing? Who am I? You know, and that was really hard, because I said to Sly, he was there, but like I was the one doing all
You were doing all that,
the
yeah.
day-to-day stuff.
Right.
So, he plays golf, he loves to paint, he loves to write, he's
Yeah.
reading, he's, working on movies, he can go away for 2 months and it's fine. Like for me, none of that
couldn't
could
do
happen.
that.
I couldn't spend 6 hours on a golf course, or I'm not an artist, so I didn't have any extracurricular things that, and I was like, God, I don't even know what I like to do. And that was really hard, because it's
Yeah.
like it really makes you
Redefining yourself.
redefine yourself. It's
So what did
So what did you come up
okay.
with?
I bought roller skates.
I've got that song in my head.
love that.
I ride my.
It's so funny. I was at a luncheon yesterday, and I was talking to this girl who I just met next to me, and she was lovely, and she's like, I'm like, God, we're talking about our kids getting older, and she's like, I just bought roller skates. Isn't that nuts? And she's like, oh my God, I just opened a roller ring.
No!
Oh my
I swear to
God!
God, I was just like, I know,
Oh,
this is the
that's
craziest thing.
hysterical.
I thought it was so bizarre. She's
That
like,
2 degrees of
"You
separation."
didn't-" I
Yeah.
said, I had never met, I don't know anything about you. And are you
that's
kidding me? She goes,
funny.
yes, it's
Roller
opening in a
rink.
few months. We're going to have like teenage night, adult night,
cute
this
is
night. So
that?
I
That's
thought this is
great.
the coolest thing. And so that was like a newfound friend.
That's great.
Also, like throwing stuff out in the universe like just like that,
Yes.
made me go, oh, I have a friend that I can now go roller skating with. And then I was saying to my friends, like my sister and my nieces and my daughters, I go, we should just go ride bikes down in Venice. Let's go rent some bikes for a couple hours and ride. And we're doing that now. And then another girlfriend who said, do you play golf? I go, what? I can swing a golf club. I'm pretty good, but I've never had time to. She's like, okay, next week we're going golfing.
Love that.
So again, just putting it out there, I think, for like I was freaking out for months, like, oh my God, I was sitting home. I was like, oh gosh, what am I gonna do? Like I can only work so much. And then
you need to find your joy.
What do I
again.
want? And your friends actually, sometimes when the kids go off, you know, a lot of our friends are through our children.
Yeah.
right.
And now
Definitely.
it's like you actually have this open slate of like, who do I really want in my life?
Yeah.
What do I really want to do with my with my time?
So
and create?
reaching out to girlfriends and just really just connecting
Yeah.
again with friendships,
So great.
which I didn't have a lot of time for. So really reconnecting.
I think we
with
should
women.
start a queendom tribe.
A queendom
so.
tribe.
I think we need to
love
start a
that.
queendom
So, I
club
think
or
we need
something.
that.
Yeah.
We need to, because I think
Yeah.
we give each other great ideas and then
Yeah.
like things I would never try before. You know, my friends are like, have you thought about going to a spa? I'm like, no, I've never been to like couple days spas. Like, I've never been to one of
But I'm
those.
loving this
but that
idea.
sounds like really fun.
You know, it's so
Maybe-
funny though. I mean, I giggle with people listening. They're probably like, "What do you mean, Jennifer's
Yes.
never been to a spa?" But I mean, that's what's
No.
so
You've been
great about
busy.
you.
I've
You're
had a
just so
massage
regular,
before,
of
but I've
course.
never
Right.
been to like a spa where you go,
Oh my
okay,
gosh.
you spend all day at a spa. Like, what do you do?
Yeah,
Like,
Okay, let's book a spa.
giant
We should book a
prune.
spa together.
That is so
Can we have a glass of
cute.
wine at the end of the day?
Yes,
That's
and we
so
wear
cute.
bathrobes all day long.
See,
You
I-
just go from like a facial to you could tell I've been to
I
a
have
spa.
never done
I've
a
been to
spa either, so I will
Okay,
go to a spa. I
girls,
haven't done that
you've
either.
got to do the spa thing.
I
Even
gotta
like it's a
try it.
5-day thing. I learned it
5
from Oprah.
days?
5 days.
Yes, there's a 5-day spa. The one that Oprah talks about all the time, and of course I'm blanking on
The
the
Golden
name of it.
Door.
No, it's
No.
Miraval.
Miracle, yeah.
I went to Miraval,
heard
and
that.
I was working on the Special Olympics, World Games, and I was so tired.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband said at the time, why don't you just go away and just rejuvenate? And I was like, well, what am I supposed to do? So he sent me to Miraval for 5 days.
That's amazing.
And it took me forever just to get off the phone and stop,
Right.
running the
Slowing
business,
down,
right?
slowing
Right.
And I go, wait, so he goes, well, go have a massage. Oh, okay, I did a massage, came back. Okay, now what?
No.
Now, so by the 3rd day, I finally got the routine, and by then it was like, wait,
zen.
5 days is over with. Wait, no, I need another 5 days.
Take sure just.
But it took a while to just also get over the feeling like
I'm not
it was okay for me to take care of myself.
Yeah.
Because we as women, we put ourselves last.
I know it is, and it's
And-
true, and it's
Yeah.
really hard to
Yeah.
let that be okay.
Let it be okay.
Yeah,
to be
like I
it,
feel
yeah.
like I'm like, oh my, am I worth it? Do
Yeah.
I deserve it?
Right.
Can I take that time away?
Right.
Like I feel guilty almost to
Yes.
do anything that's a little nice for
Indulgent,
yourself.
a
Yeah.
little so nice
Because
for-
I always want
yeah.
to do it for other people and make sure everyone else is taken
Right.
care of first.
Right.
And so it's letting that happen too.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. You touched on something just a minute ago that I want to go a little bit more into.
Okay.
Is when you were talking about your friends and how you reconnect with your friends.
Mm.
I feel very strongly that we're stronger together.
Yeah.
That we
Right.
and women naturally we come
We're a
together.
little tribe,
and
yeah.
we're like
We are.
women in general. And I would like to say to people that I think as you're getting older, sometimes when the kids are gone, people start to isolate.
Yeah.
You isolate more,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
I think it's so powerful when you reach out and you just have a really fun night with your girlfriends.
Yeah.
Somebody throw a dinner party, just all hang out and
Yes.
have some wine together, whatever.
Exactly.
It recharges your battery.
It does, and it
Yeah.
makes you remember how
Yes.
lucky we are to have each other, and they inspire me too.
Yes.
My friend and I, we had a girl. My girlfriend is really kind. She always does these girlfriend dinners, and we just were like, "Oh, let's all drive together." And my friend said, "Okay, I'll get the Uber so we can have a glass of wine." And it was so much fun to be in a car with all your
Yes.
girlfriends. We giggled on the way there. We were laughing and telling jokes on the way home. It was just so much fun
so
to
healthy.
get together.
Yeah.
And again, it doesn't really have to cost a lot to do that
That's the
stuff.
No.
Like
Yes.
really
No.
any one of us in any town, any city can get together with old friends. And who helped me really reconnect was my daughters, because they have a lot of really good girlfriends. And And they're like, Mom, they started listing these women off that have been in my life. And they're like, you have to connect. Like, you can't wait for the phone to ring.
Yeah.
You can't wait for them to shoot you an email. And I was like, you're right. I have to be proactive too. I can't just sit around waiting. Like the girl by the telephone, like waiting for the date. You know, like somebody ask me out. Like you have
But that's empowerment.
Yeah.
That's empowerment. And if women don't have that frame of mind, they feel like, well, nobody's calling me, nobody's asking me. That's that victim mentality. Yeah. So when you start feeling that way, it's like, okay, catch it. Go, wait a minute. That's not true. The truth is, there's a lot of people that want to hang out with me. You know, want to go out to dinner or go to the spa with. And
it's true. A lot of
take a walk.
Take a walk. I do walks all the time because I'm not great at doing girls' lunches and stuff like that. And like that kind of bores me a little bit. So I'm like, hey, let's grab a coffee and just walk wherever you are, wherever I am. It doesn't even have to be in the hills or at a special location. It's through a neighborhood. And it's just so nice.
And it's just, it's healing. I mean, I really consider it to be healing. And I think that is one of the most powerful things you can do, is just to really connect with friends. I just do. We've talked about that a million times.
Okay, I have a fun question. I forgot to ask Susan this, darn it.
You did?
I did.
Okay,
I want to ask a fun question. So what do you think your superpower is?
Oh, God. I don't know. My superpower, gosh. I don't know. How do you mean superpower? Does it mean like
what is your gift?
What is it that's your strength? That's your thing that you would say is your number one. If people didn't know you, what would you want them to know about you?
I think I'm very kind. I know that's, and that is, and
it's beautiful.
Being a mom, like I have like super mom powers. Like I think that one of my greatest powers is being a mom. I think I was meant to be a mom. Like I grew up knowing since I was a little girl, like that was, besides being married or running a business, my strongest desire in life was to be a mother. And my sisters and I shared a bedroom, and I shared a bed with my older sister Trisha until I was 17, and we'd lay in bed at night and just talk about, oh my God, we're going to be moms. And then Julie on the other little bed would yell, me too, you know. And the three of us would lay at night. And it's funny because my sisters and I all have children, and then we all, like, anytime one of us, a lot of us, and anytime one of us got pregnant, we'd call the other one, I'm pregnant, and we're like, okay, I'm gonna get pregnant too, and then the third one, I'm gonna get pregnant too. So we all have children the same age, and we'd all sort of be pregnant at the same time together. Our poor husbands were like, do you have to follow your sister's pregnancy?
So you have 3 girls, Trish has 3 girls.
My youngest sister has 4 boys. But she's the younger one, and then when she got pregnant, I was just like, oh God, I can't do it again.
Yeah, you're like, I'm done at 3.
I'm done at 3. Shop closed.
That is so funny.
Yeah. So that was funny. That was like, that's my superpower.
Yeah.
I love that.
Kindness. You know, it's funny when you asked her that question, I said, for me, knowing you, the little bit I do, I would say that was your superpower.
She told me that when I asked her. I said, so how would you describe Jennifer? And she said, you know, she's stunningly beautiful, but she's really kind.
I just don't.
And
I
thought that was the best.
I think there's too much sadness sometimes in our world.
Yeah.
You know, and you look around, not just in our country, but you go to other places. I've traveled a lot. You know, I've been on a lot of sets with him, and I've traveled in my business a lot and work, whatever. And you just see how lucky we are as women to be living in America. Good, bad, and indifferent. We're so lucky. We have choices. We can go to school. We can do what we want, and freedom, and we can work as hard as we want, and you know, and the other places they don't have those options. Even if they wanted to, they don't have them. So I think that just looking around and really paying attention and reading and just understanding the world, and like you will really see, okay, I don't have a lot, but man, I am so blessed to have what I have and be in this space right now. So
I love that.
So I want to go back for a second about when you were, it's actually a self-honoring of being a mother.
Yeah.
And I love that, because being a mom means so much to me, and I also have 3 beautiful daughters.
I know, and being a mom is the greatest gift, and it also, you know, if whatever you put in, you get out. I mean, basically,
it's the most important job.
It is the most important job. It's the hardest job, and I'll tell you something. When I used to go to work, and I'd be on an airplane, and I'd be sitting around a lot of businessmen, and they would be like, oh yeah, I'm going to work, and I'm like, I'm going to work. but this is like a vacation to them being home.
Yes.
To them being home with the kids. I said, so all you guys that think that like what a woman does at home, it's 10 times harder.
Yeah.
I would do 7 hours of live TV, be up from 3 in the morning, get home at, at midnight, and have 2 hours of sleep every night for days on end. Sometimes that was easier than being at home, being a mom, doing the day in, day out. Because, when I worked, it was like, great job, you're wonderful, you're fantastic.
amazing.
I would go get my coffee by myself, drink my coffee, eat my granola, and it was like not making 8,000 lunches,
people are waiting on you.
making sure the homework's in the bag, making sure everything. And no one says, good job,
Yeah.
you look great, fabulous. And like, you go to work, and it's like,
So true.
you're like, you're on your own, and you're gonna like, oh, I can
like,
lay in
yeah,
bed.
so
I
fantastic.
gotta go to room service, and it's like, okay, now I understand what all you guys are doing when you're going on these like work trips. I mean, that's called
Wink, wink.
vacation. I said
For
it's a
moms,
vacation.
it's vacation,
It's a
yes.
vacation if you are a full-time mom. It's like that's hard work.
Yeah, and I think it's a good point not to undervalue that, because you hear women, they'll say, "Oh, I'm just a mom." Like, okay, wait,
I'm like,
no.
are you kidding me?
Put a crown on your head.
Yeah, like trust me, I bow down to that.
Yes.
And the moms that stay home and are there and for their kids and pick them up and drop them off, and they're good, loving, caring moms. I mean, man, you need all the praise you can get, because that is the best job, but it's also the hardest, the most challenging, and you don't get the pat on the back. You don't get a paycheck at the end of the week. So, good on you.
You don't? Oh.
I've
been trying to work on that part of it. No, but the other parts you're talking about too, and I know there's a lot of women that are watching, they're thinking, okay, I didn't have such a great mom, or I didn't have such a great dad in raising, and they'll use it as an excuse or just stay in that, kind of victimhood a little bit. And what I was just sharing with, Jennifer off camera too, is that it sounds like we had the same kind of mom.
Yeah.
And it was tough, and I didn't want kids because I didn't really see an example of what a mom's supposed to look like. Now, we've healed today, thank goodness, thank the Lord. We went to school together, and that's why I went to school to get my master's in spiritual psychology. It was just to forgive my mother.
Yeah.
And
it's a hard thing.
It's a hard thing, but, I did, she did. We have this great relationship now.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really hard. But it takes a lot of work.
It takes a lot of work.
And a lot of forgiveness.
It does. But I don't think I even realized, I think what helped me forgive her too and forgive myself on it was when I became a mother. Then I realized how hard it was. And she had to deal with a lot of mental, illnesses.
Her probably mom and other things going on. And same with my mom. I know it was hard for her growing up, and her parents divorced in a small town in North Dakota. And so I know that it was hard for her. I just didn't want to make the same mistakes and have the regrets that she has. And I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to use that as an excuse to start drinking, to cover up problems. And listen, alcohol is very easy to get addicted to, and it's really easy to have that fourth glass of wine and get comfortable doing that every night, and then that builds up and builds up and builds up.
Then in your full-blown addiction. It's just to numb. It's
just
to
to
numb the pain.
And sometimes you don't even know what you're numbing.
Yeah.
You're just like, okay, why do I need this?
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just better just to go for a walk and clear your head instead of saying, maybe I'm good. Because I know it can be very tricky. And I'm very conscious of it because it runs in my family. So I'm very careful of,
mine too.
Not doing drugs, and really, I love to have a glass of wine or two or 3 sometimes. But I know not every night, and really balance
you monitor yourself.
I understand
you don't want to go beyond that, because I tell my kids even, they're 15 and 17 and at that age where they're experimenting.
They're experimenting, for sure.
And I say, you know what, you guys don't know yet if you have that gene.
Right.
So I just want you to know there's a possibility, and I want you to just be aware of it. So make good choices. And of course they're looking at me like, really?
I say that to my kids.
I'm
too.
on my kids about that.
And I'm on them about drugs too.
Yeah.
I'm always on them about drugs, and I kind of scare them because they're girls. So we watch a lot of those drug shows. And they're like, oh my gosh, she has no teeth. I'm like, see, that's not a good look.
The meth commercials.
But there's
those rehab things. I go, that doesn't really look good walking into your classroom. No teeth, and your skin's falling off. I go, really? right. What on?
Yeah.
You know, let's pick our.
Yeah.
Right.
There's different paths in life.
And I think too,
Yeah.
you know, I'm from my side alcohol, both sides for my
Right.
girls, so they have both sides. And so I really feel though that in healing that part of myself, I wasn't a drinker myself, but I come from that, and then my children come from that. And I'm healing that in myself and being able to shed light and shine light on that for my family and really standing for this isn't going to work, you know, and really for people getting healthy. And there was something about that shifted the entire dynamic, not just in my family, but in my, you know, my parents, my brothers, my sisters. It's like it was the big thing that wasn't spoken about.
Yeah,
And
the pink elephant in the room.
you actually are
Yeah.
able to shift the conversation or shift your own awareness around it, right? And become more conscious about it, and then teach your children that you're really shifting generations.
Yeah.
And
It's
lineages
true.
of
You
that
are.
I
stuff.
mean,
Stopping it.
I love this. I
Yeah.
love that we have, you know, in my world, I don't know if in everybody's world, but we talk about everything. And it's
Yeah.
really nice. We don't have to hide anymore.
No.
So it's really great. My girls are really, really open, and they'll talk about what they did, and you know, and they're very honest. And,
Yeah.
and sometimes I'm like, oh, wow, I'm shocked they're even telling me some of the stuff they tell me.
Yes.
And I love this. And I love that we can talk about who we are, like sexually and about everything.
Yeah.
It's not, you don't have to keep someone in the closet anymore. It's
Yeah.
like we can be who we want to be.
Right.
And you don't have to be embarrassed or shy or, you know, no, there's no shame. And I love
breaking
that
that
they're
stigma.
actually growing up in this type of generation where we
Yes.
can be more open. And
I agree, because our parents, they weren't raised that way.
my
Everything was
gosh,
secretive.
everything was so
you know,
secretive.
And
Yeah.
even in my age too, it was
it was
still
like
secretive.
don't talk
you don't
unless
talk
spoken to. I
Right.
mean, that's like our family. Like they
Right.
never asked us a question like,
Right.
"What's your favorite color?" or
Yeah.
like anything.
They didn't care. Children
They
were
didn't care.
seen and not heard.
Exactly.
Wasn't it
Right.
somebody was saying you spend the first half of your life getting messed up, and
Yes.
the second half of your life trying to get your shit
Trying to
together
get
and
it
healing
right.
it,
Exactly.
right? Whereas this generation,
Yes.
you know, they're more open.
They're
They
more
get to talk
open,
about
and
it.
so
Much
it's
more
such.
open.
I always say you're so lucky to my girls. I'm like, you guys
Yeah.
can talk about anything, and it's like you can just forgive and move on, and not beat yourselves up the rest of your life,
Not live in judgment
and
over
not live in
everything.
judgment,
Yeah.
and you can be who you want to be.
Yeah, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah,
It
and
is.
I would say even, you know, as women get older, I would say one of the biggest things is that we hold so much judgment against ourselves for
boy.
things that we
Constantly.
just piled it on. And we almost have misbeliefs. Like we're almost like, you know how sometimes you
Right.
believe things that aren't
Yeah.
even true?
Yeah.
I know.
And
You'll
just
make
hold
up
them.
stuff.
You
Oh my
make up
God!
stuff.
And then you look at your body, and you're standing naked in front of the mirror,
Yeah.
and you go, "Oh, this isn't right." And this isn't.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Hold on, no, that is right. That's
Yeah.
where my
That's
hips are
right.
supposed
You
to be.
course correct
My
with
inner
your
thighs
words.
aren't supposed to look like you know
Yeah.
a 16-year-old.
Right.
Okay,
I know.
you know." And I'm
Right.
like,
Wow.
okay, wow, a light bulb goes off in your head, going, "I'm okay," and then you know, and then you don't. Because I used to look at myself, like, oh my God, you have to be so perfect. And then you go,
That's a hard way. to live.
it's hard. And then I started going, I actually look better when I don't work out as much.
When you're not, yes,
And
when you're trying
you
so
just
hard,
let your
yeah.
body relax a little bit.
Yeah.
And you go, God, I don't have to work out every day to keep looking just
Right.
normal. Like just, you don't have to work
Yeah.
out
Right.
5
To
days
feel
a
great.
week. You
Yes.
can work out 3
Yes.
days a
Yes.
week
And I
and
feel
do
great.
Pilates
Yeah.
and like be okay.
Yeah.
I'm like,
true.
wow, that's a revelation.
It's just it's the freedom. It's
It's a
letting
freedom.
go. There's a surrender to the whole thing. It's almost like you
Yeah.
start to just go and flow, and you surrender to the entire process, right?
Yeah, you're allowed
Did
to
you
have
however
always
wanna do it.
feel that way though? I mean, especially because we were talking about this earlier too. You're married to a movie star. You know,
Yeah,
there's
it's a little-
beautiful women around. Did you ever feel like with Sly that you had to be perfect and look perfect?
Oh yeah, I mean,
you know, go
yeah,
through that.
I mean that definitely was like, you know, not for him as much as for the world. Like, I always looked at myself like, oh my gosh, she's so much taller, or she's so much thinner, or she has better teeth than me, or she has like crazy things like,
course.
and oh, she's younger than me now, and I go, holy cow, I am
Yeah.
killing myself by looking at like one person's body part and going, oh, she has better legs, oh, she has better hands, oh my God, she has better hair, like, and not just saying I'm okay she's okay,
enough,
I'm enough. And you start like looking at everybody in the room and just not just looking at yourself as a whole. And then you just like, and that was really relieving after just feeling like I could just be myself instead of just trying to be what everyone thought I should be or look like. You know, like people go, oh, and I would hear whispers like, oh, she's not as cute as I thought she was. And you're like, oh, great.
Great, It's interesting though that it came from you and it didn't come from Sly too. That's the stuff we make. I think women, we make up stuff in our heads.
We make it up. I had that experience, I would say, with Chris and being married to a football player. I had that same feeling.
You'd walk in like probably with all the other girls and you probably go, oh my God, that girlfriend's so much prettier, so much younger, or like, and you start comparing yourself to other people. It's a comparison thing, and it's just so silly. And you look now back, and you're like, wow, I spent an awful lot of time, you know, thinking, you know, not. And for me, it wasn't. I've always had a part of me that really liked who I was. Yeah. But I will tell you that the more I did the inner work and really began to go, God, I really like who I am. You're okay.
I'm a really good person. Right. And that lended such a, that was my liberation. When I really was seen for what was in here instead of there. Right. It was a really freeing feeling. Yeah.
So see, young girls, what you guys have to look forward to.
It's always, I tell my, you know, and
as you get older, you get
work on your inside. They're like, whatever, Mom, I need a new face cream. No, I know, right? You know, they're like, yeah, because they don't get it.
I still need some more Instatalks.
Okay. Yes. I'll stop keeping this up.
But I do think that is the gift, right?
Totally.
To just accept and not compare.
Yeah.
And just look at everyone as just, you're beautiful, you're beautiful. Like we all are beautiful in our unique ways. It doesn't, you know, and we're all great. I'm so happy we're all not cookie cutter. I don't want, you know, I don't want everyone to look alike. I don't want us to have the same bodies and the same faces and the same hair. Like, it's beautiful. Everybody, you know, looks
I love that. I love that self-acceptance. And would you say that because you've grown into that for yourself,
I have grown into that.
Yes, there's this liberation and there's this, like, getting older feels so much better than I ever.
It does. I wish I learned it earlier. Yeah. Because I would have started living more free. Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of learning it at 50, wish we learned it in our 30s.
I wish I learned it earlier. I wish I just said it's all okay. Like, I don't have to be everything to everybody, and I'm okay who I am in my own skin. It's okay. Like, I don't have to be what they think I should be. I'm okay being me.
Yeah.
And you know what? Important. You don't have to be a supermodel to have that experience. I think every woman has that feeling.
Absolutely.
Every woman. You know? Every woman goes and just picks herself apart. Yeah. Everybody. I mean, most of us all do that. And it's really, it can be so damaging.
That's why we're doing this show. It's really to help women, you know, learn to own the throne of their own lives and be the queen that they are. Because if we're not sitting on our own throne of our lives, who else is? Right. You know, and what are we doing? What's our purpose?
But it's okay just to be in your skin at this moment. Like, you don't have to be anywhere else. You don't have to be doing anything. There's something so fabulous that someone else is doing that you're not doing. You don't have to look anyway. You know,
or be doing anything. Right. It's just like right now in this moment, we're okay.
You can just be.
Just be. Yeah. And then just be accepting of yourself and not pick on ourselves so much. And I think women, if we stop picking ourselves, we're going to teach our daughters not to pick on themselves and that they're okay, and then you actually will be better even in your marriage or relationships, whatever you're into, because everything's better. And you start to listening to girlfriends closer. You start to connecting better with other people as well. When you start like letting go of all this and just caring about what's here in your soul.
So true. I think that's all of our superpowers when we get to the bottom of it, you know. Yeah. Okay, one last question. Okay. This is our favorite question that we're always asking. So, when we say own your throne, and you've heard us talk about it, what does it mean to you to own the throne of your life?
Living my very authentic life. That's what I want to do. That's how I want to own my throne. It's just keep doing what I'm doing, but enjoying a little bit more of it.
Love it.
It's beautiful.
That's beautiful.
you.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Jennifer.
Thank
I know
you.
for
So
being
fun
on the
to
show
have
with us.
Thank
here.
you. I'd love to come back. And
Yeah.
I wish you guys
and-
so much success because I
Thank
think this
you.
needs to get out in the world
Oh,
about
thank you.
loving ourselves and reconnecting with women and
Yeah.
just teaching each other how to live and love and be our best selves.